When I started my 80-pound weight loss journey, I was obese and sedentary. But over time, I got into a consistent exercise habit. And it was really one of the best things I did for both my weight loss and maintenance. And in today's video, I'm going to give you my 5 best tips for creating your own exercise habit. In general, habits are created by doing a thing over and over and over and over and over again. But the thing is, it can seem kind of intimidating when you're really out of shape, and especially if you're obese and you're trying to also get active. And what I found was it's really easy to get into your own way, to sit there and to be on the computer looking at all the different exercises and which one's the best, none of which will help you get into the actual habit of exercise. And you might be wondering, is it even important to exercise? I mean, can't you just lose weight without exercise? And yes, you absolutely can lose weight without exercise. But what I found was exercise was so important because of the good mood it put me in consistently. It kept me in this positive mental state that helped me keep going even when the scale wasn't really cooperating, or when I just had bad days, or when I wanted to stress eat. So I would say absolutely it is worth all the effort that you're going to put into this to get into the exercise habit. Tip number 1 is to get into the right mindset about exercise. The thing about habit creation is that it's a messy process. You're not going to be perfect because you're human. You're going to mess up. You're going to have days where, you said you were going to do the thing and you just don't do it. And you're going to have to, in that moment, not quit. And the way to do that is to have a growth mindset. If you've never read the book Mindset by Carol Dweck, I highly recommend it. You look at those times where you fail to do the thing as an opportunity to learn. It will keep you moving forward. Exercising consistently will be the thing that builds the habit. It's not about doing it perfectly. It's all about progress, not perfection. Tip number 2 is to pair it with something you're doing already. The thing about it is, if you're not currently exercising, it can be really difficult to work it into your day. A lot of times you're just going to forget that you said you were going to do it. But if you go ahead and pair it with something that's already happening, that you do consistently, then it's just a lot easier for it to become your habit. Now, back in the day, I used to be on social media a lot. And so what worked for me was to pair social media with getting my steps in. And I just made it my rule. Like, if I am on Facebook, then I am up walking around. There's no sitting and being on Facebook or being on Pinterest unless my step goal is completed. But you could do this with anything that you're already doing during your day. For example, maybe you go to work every day. Well, you can make it so that you incorporate your exercise in getting to work. Maybe you could walk to work, or you could bike to work, or maybe you have to drive there, but you could walk up the stairs to get to your office. You could even do something like do 5 push-ups every time you go to the bathroom. Really, it can be anything. The key is to look at what you are already doing and figure out some sort of activity you could pair with it. Tip number 3 is to lower the bar. In other words, make this easier on yourself. Now, this is so counterintuitive to me because I tend to be the type of person that will make things harder on myself. So I get it that you may think that this is the wrong way to act, but it is what worked for me. So I used to be the type of person who would create these crazy workout goals. I would be sedentary and be like, okay, I'm going to get active. So now I'm going to just start running 3 miles a day. And I would run 3 miles a day for a little while, but I would never stick with it for the long haul. And the thing that always tripped me up was, there were plenty of days where I could work that into my day and it worked. But then there were also plenty of days where it just didn't work in my life. What worked instead was to lower the bar so that on those days where I wasn't feeling motivation, or, I was feeling really tired, I could still do the thing. Think about your worst day and what you could still do. So for example, with my step goal, what I found was it was really nice to kind of lower the bar for myself. I still had a step goal, but I lowered the bar by saying things like, I don't have a pace goal. I found that it was also helpful to just say, every step that I take throughout the day counts. Like, I don't have to get it all in one shot. And so on those days where I kind of felt the worst, I could still get my steps in and be consistent. And again, the repetition is what's important. Tip number 4 is to make it enjoyable. The fact is, if you hate doing an exercise, you're not going to stick with it. Like, we just don't do things we hate. So instead of trying to come up with like the absolute best, most efficient, thing that's going to burn the most calories, forget all that. Instead, focus on what you'll actually get out there and do. So maybe for you, that's walking. Maybe it's running. Maybe it's swimming. Maybe it's playing racquetball. I don't know. But the most important thing is what you will enjoy, because the thing that you enjoy is the thing that you'll stick with. And pay attention to how you're feeling during your workouts so that you can make changes if necessary. So sometimes maybe you're fine just going out for a walk and you just love being in nature. But there may be other times where you need some music to go along with it, or maybe it would help you to video chat with a friend or something like that. The important thing is to always enjoy your workout, because if it starts to feel like you're just punishing yourself every time you go out there, you're not going to stick with it. And remember, this is all about habit creation. So you want it to be a rewarding experience every single time. Tip number 5 is to look for opportunities to sneak in some exercise. Getting into an exercise habit is a lot easier when you think of yourself as an active person. And one way you can do this is by just looking for those little opportunities throughout your day where you can be more active. So for example, if you're about to take the escalator or the elevator, take the stairs instead. Or when you go to the store, park at the very back of the parking lot. You can also just get in the habit of choosing the slightly harder things. Use a push mower instead of using a riding mower, or use a mattock instead of using a garden tiller. There are lots of little things that you can do that will make exercise just a part of who you are. Once you start looking, you'll be surprised at how many different opportunities you'll see. I hope that these tips have helped you. The good news is that even though in the beginning it's hard to get into these habits of being more active, as time goes on and you are consistently active, eventually being active becomes the easier choice. It actually becomes more difficult to sit around and be sedentary because it doesn't feel good. So it does take time, but it's totally worth the effort. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Chances are, since you just watched that video, you're on the weight loss journey yourself. And I just wanted to let you know that I do have some more resources available to you. First of all, I have lots of freebies on my website, 6milestosupper.com/freebies. On that page, you can find lots of downloads and printables that will help you on the weight loss journey. And I've written 3 different books to help you through the process. Also, I have a course on Teachable, Intermittent Fasting for Weight Loss 101, and this takes you through the entire process of weight loss with intermittent fasting, from how to get started, and then how to build your plan and customize it to your own life, and finally, how to keep it off for the rest of your life. And I also offer weekly office hours so that you can get your questions answered directly by me. Also, there's the option to join this channel. When you become an insider, you get access to the vlog I do. I also hold an additional live Q&A just for members. The links to all these things are in the description.